How I made 4.57% on an unplanned red news event. Towards the end of the video you'll see how the news kicked in and I managed to take advantage of what was going on. Please remember to hit subscribe and you'll get the heads up as and when these videos come out. Okay, we've seen some reasonable moves overnight throughout the Asian session and moving into London, some early moves. So good opportunities here right now, but we never know, they could spin round. Let's just flick through these and I'll show you the pairs that I'm actually holding. The Euro US dollar, I saw this come through an entry point. Took this at 33 and I'm looking for further upside movement, seeing a bit of strength in the euro right now. The Euro Japanese yen, I'm thinking about it, looking at that, it could be the US dollar weakness, but for the moment, holding that. The Euro Japanese yen, took this as it came through one of our entry points, 67 I got in this, and I'm looking for further upside movement on this one too. The Pound US dollar, managed to get in on this. We saw a nice big move outside of what was happening throughout the Asian session as London opened, but since then we've seen a big suck back on that, so watching that carefully. May have to jump out of that trade. Pound Japanese yen, again, big move outside of what was happening throughout Asia and the start of London, and again we've seen that big suck back now. It's pulling right back. So looking for that to continue down. Got my take profit way down here at 80 at the moment. Maybe a little bit enthusiastic, but we'll see what happens. I was hoping to just follow this big powerful move up with a price stop. But let's see what this one does. Just keeping an eye on those pound pairs. And the only other trade that I'm in is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Took this short as it came through an entry point. Got in at 24. Again, looking for further downside movement on this. Okay, I'll pause for now and I'll be back with an update soon. Back with an update, seeing this Euro US dollar starting to push through this 50 level. It's broken it there twice so far this morning, last candle on this one. Looking for it to push through there. I've got my take profit up at 80 at the moment. Just need to keep an eye on this and see what it does. If it gets through that 50 level, I'll start moving my take profit up to lock-in break even. Euro Japanese yen taking a bit of a plunge at the moment, moved up quite nicely. It was just poking up through this 80 level here, but it's bounced off of that now, coming back down at the moment, but still safe in that one right now. The Pound US dollar, this stupidly, I could have locked in 20 pips on this, and as price came back I would have had 20 pips profit on this, but where I was busy looking at other pairs and getting other trades sorted and set up, totally missed that. So price came all the way back and gave me a 10 pip stop on that, so I've lost 10 pips on the Pound US dollar. Pound Japanese yen, this one's still holding nicely and moving down now. I think we're seeing a bit of strength on that Japanese yen as well as the weakness on the pound. So new candle opened, Pound Japanese yen still on the downward move, looking for it to break back through that 20 like it did just now. Come down maybe towards this 0.0, and who knows, if we see this pick up momentum we might even see it come down to the 80. I'll be keeping an eye on that. And the US dollar, Canadian dollar, still seeing that downward movement. Much more steady move on this, nice move to the downside. Through that 20 and held there, looking for it to move down through this previous day's low, down towards 0.0. So again, I'll pause for now and I'll be back with an update soon. And one more trade taken on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Saw this hit one of our entry points and I've taken this long, looking for further upside movement. Okay, I'll pause again, be back soon. Okay, we're seeing some crazy moves in the markets at the moment, especially with the pound pairs. Just quickly run through these pairs that I'm in and the trades that I've got out of. The Euro US dollar, I punched out of this a little while ago, saw the pound and the euro plummeting, coming down quite strongly. So I punched out of the Euro US dollar, gaining 3 pips, and the Euro Japanese yen, I punched out of this, losing 3 pips. So my 2 euro trades that I had on ended up break even on those. Pound US dollar, managed to get back in this as price started to move down, a big powerful move there. Got this on a momentum trade and I'm holding this, looking for further downside movement. Pound Japanese yen, I actually locked in 30 pips on this and price pulled back on this last candle here and hit my price stop, so I pulled out of that with 30 pips. Got into the Australian dollar, US dollar as it came back and hit one of our entry points, looking for further upside movement on this. We've seen some nice moves throughout the early part of the London session on the Australian dollar, so looking for that further upside movement. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, again, bit of a deep pullback taking place right now. But I took this long as it came through an entry point. And the only other trade that I'm holding still is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Seeing a pullback on this too. So like I say, not smooth moving markets at the moment. It's a bit maniacal. It's up and down and a little volatile. So just need to sit with it and see what we can pull from it. Okay, I'll pause again and I'll be back with an update soon. Okay, so quick update. We're seeing these crazy moves on the pound. Big drop in the price of the pound. And the GU momentum trade that I got in, I managed to take 40 pips on that as it just flew straight through my take profit. Managed to get back in on it on another Momo trade, looking for further downside movement. And pound Japanese yen, I've taken this again on a momentum trade, looking for further downside movement. Got my take profit in. If these take profits are hit, I'll be happy with these in the lead up to the pound news. We've got a red news event coming out in about 30 minutes time, so keep an eye on these and just see what happens. Okay, I'll be back soon. I'll pause for now and I'll be back soon. Okay, back with an update. I'm currently flat in the market. We've seen some big moves today. It's not been an easy market to trade though. We've seen some massive pullbacks and big moves taking place. Seeing the euro and the pound plummet at the moment. You can see those big moves there. The Australian dollar pairs that I had on, they pulled right back at the same time, and both of those trades stopped me out. So where I am at the moment, I've lost 36 pips this morning, but I've gained 113 pips. So currently holding 77 pips, and I'm flat the market. I'm not going to be taking any other trades. I'll just be waiting for the GBP red news event that will be taking place in 15 minutes time. If there's any moves to be taken there, I'll take those, but other than that, I'll be finished for the day. Okay, I'll pause again and I'll be back soon with a complete run through of trades I've taken and how it panned out today. Okay, just back to let you know that I'm finished for the day now. There's nothing relating to the red news event. The red news trade really didn't take off, although the pound is still plummeting, still coming down. So there's some beautiful trades to be had off of those pound moves. Euro is coming down as well. So obviously, I don't know what the news is, but there's obviously problems with the Brexit deal, I would have thought. Okay, I'll be back a little later to run through the trades that I took and where I ended up, and the way that I managed to take profit from the market today. Okay, so on to the results. You can see here this Euro US dollar trade that I took, got in here and punched out of this. Didn't like what was happening with the pound and the EU, and just as well that I did, I managed to make 3 pips on this, just 3 pips, and then price just plummeted once that Brexit news started coming out about the ministers resigning. So plus 3 pips on the Euro US dollar. And the Euro Japanese yen got in a similar time as I did on the EU, and you can see that price moved up and then pulled back down again once this big move down started happening. So the 3 pips I made on the Euro US dollar, I lost on the EJ. So I was break even on these Euro trades. The Australian dollar US dollar, after this big move up on the news event throughout the Asian session, saw this sideways movement. Price continued to move up. I took a trade on this and you can see price just plummeted back down on this, losing me 10 pips, knocked out for 10 pips on the Australian dollar US dollar. And the Australian dollar Japanese yen, exactly the same story on this as the Australian dollar US dollar. You can see I got in here at the same point and just about then price started to plummet. So I was knocked out for minus 12 pips on the Australian dollar Japanese yen. The US dollar Canadian dollar, I punched out of this as I was finishing trading, losing just 1 pip on that. On to the pound US dollar, one of the big movers of the day. The first trade that I took here as it came through one of our entry points. You see this candle just came down, lovely spike down. It was looking good, but then it sucked all the way back and stopped me out, losing me 10 pips. Second trade I got in here, I got in on a momentum trade, and this was beautiful. I set my take profit and it moved down, giving me plus 40 pips. Came straight through that take profit. On this same candle, another momentum move, again because I was looking for certain criteria to get back in, gave me the opportunity to get in on a momentum move, and I took just 16 pips on it this time. But we can see that pound just carried on dropping and dropping. Beautiful opportunity in hindsight to look at this and say, well, we could have just moved the price stop down and followed that price down, but I did what I did with it and got 40 on that second trade and 16 pips on that third trade. So pound US dollar was a good earner for me on Thursday. And the last of the pairs that I traded on Thursday was the pound Japanese yen. Took this as it came through entry criteria here, and this price stayed outside of this area, moved down, giving me 30 pips as it hit my take profit. And the second trade that I took was on a momentum trade again, saw this big move down here, got in on this suckback and took this down, giving me plus 24 pips. So to sum all those trades up, you can see that I've taken 10 trades, I won 5, I lost 5, giving me a total of plus 77 pips, and that equates to a profit of 4.57% on my capital. So I'll finish off here. Please remember to hit subscribe and you'll get the heads up as and when these videos come out. And if you'd like to find out more about the way that we trade, go to my website, which is www.uktoasia.com. Thanks very much for viewing this video, and I'll be back soon with another one.